now listening to The Bradshaw Boys, a podcast where three relatively grown men binge the iconic HBO series Sex and the City. So dust off those DVDs and grab yourself a white wine or even a Cosmopolitan and settle in. Take it away, boys.
Welcome to the Bradshaw Boys, a podcast where three guys watch their way through Sex and the City for the first time ever, mostly. I'm Cory Cavin.
My name is Jon Sieber.
And I'm Kevin James Doyle. We're sitting here with our guest today that is...
It's so obvious with the... Just the boys.
JTB.
Listen, do we need to get a guest every time? No. When we do, who is it?
Rudy Giuliani. That's who it is.
I cleaned up New York.
He's Sarah Jessica Parker. And Carrie? Yeah, it's good for New York, I guess. Yeah.
I thought when they looked at the camera, I enjoyed it personally.
I thought it was good. It was good.
Giuliani would like the Talking Heads.
Oh,
Classic Giuliani.
Classic Giuliani.
It's written all over his face.
Big season 1 fan, Giuliani.
Season 5. We're here.
We're here,
right?
This is the first episode that we will have ever watched.
Yes. Since
we have personally interacted with executive producer and star, Sarah Jessica Parker.
It's BSJP and ASJP. This is the first ASJP episode.
Yeah. And this
not
podcast,
ASMR,
not ASMR,
ASJP.
is
ASJP.
NSFW.
Oh,
that is true.
Wink, wink. If you're in your office
I'm
now, go ahead, look
Put on some
around and
headphones.
smile because we're about to say something dirty. Penis. And your boss doesn't know. Vagina.
Unless you're the boss, and then you a dirty boss.
Hey,
Look at you little dirty boss.
hey,
dirty
look
boss.
around. How many employees are under you? Look at all your silly little employees, and know that right now you run this company. And you looking around, and you got something in your earbuds. They think you're listening to some really clean, penis.
Did you know NSYNC wrote a song about how filthy you are, boss? It's called Dirty Boss.
Dirty boss.
Sick and tired of all my employees thinking that I'm clean. I'm a dirty boss and I like to look at your penis. Dirty boss.
Dirty boss. Maybe you're a listener who's in your car.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to, next stoplight you're at a stoplight. Now,
Relax.
is there someone next to you?
Yeah.
I want you to rev that engine a little. Vroom. Rev that engine and look at the person next to them, wave. If they've waved back at you,
there.
what they don't know is they just waved at someone who's listening to a podcast and they just said on it, penis.
What happens if you're walking down the streets in New York City?
Oh yeah.
You got your AirPods.
What if you're AirPodding right now?
all these people walking by you? They're probably like, that person's listening to the New York podcast.
NPR politics.
Oh, I bet they're listening to the Daily.
Yeah, the Daily.
Did you know the New York Times just endorsed Amy Klobuchar and Elizabeth Warren? I bet that person is very informed.
You're wearing all black. It's cold outside. You got your gloves on. Maybe your Canada Goose jacket.
Yep.
And in your ears is not New York Times.
No.
Nope. Instead, it's Kevin James Doyle saying
penis.
Hi, I'm Michael Barbaro, and today we're talking about
penis.
What have we got ourselves into?
Hey, listen.
We need to find a path outside of what
We got to get out of here.
We're stuck in a
Let's
loop.
just say, let's make it even and say vagina and move on from this bit.
Here's the thing. If you came to this podcast because you listened to the first ever one with Sarah Jessica Parker before this, we just want to say welcome and
welcome to our journey.
Welcome to our
and
journey.
We have never seen Sex in the City before.
Yep.
No.
We're watching through it. We're about to start season 5.
Yep.
We've heard. Oh, here's what I did want to do.
Oh, okay.
Thank
Tell
you
us.
for being here. We got a really great email.
Let's read it.
Let's read that
and I
email.
want to read it because it's very pertinent to this. It is from Tina Glenn. Hi, Tina.
Hey, Tina.
Hey,
She
Tina.
sent this a little while ago. She's from Des Moines.
Really?
And
Never been to Iowa before.
Really?
She said, hello,
One of the 3
fairly new listener here who has spent nearly a month catching up. Why, thank you.
Thank you very much.
First off, I'm a huge SATC fan
As
who
we
started
are.
watching by seeing the first movie on a girls' move day backwards. Way to do it, I know. But I've loved it ever since. I know you guys get lots of negative views on season 5, but just go into it with an open mind.
Yeah.
It's a lighter and sillier season than 3 or 4, but it does lay groundwork for some great season 6 arcs. There are a few familiar faces, and since SJP was pregnant, like in real life?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I don't think Carrie Bradshaw has kids.
Since was pregnant all season 5, it's fun to play Spot the Bump.
Ooh.
You guys want to do a drinking game called Spot the Bump?
Yeah,
Would love
STB,
to
baby.
spot the
Let's go.
bump. You know who else does that? My dermatologist. He's like, time to play Spot the Bump, Corey. You're here for your once-a-year thing.
Oh, I found one. You have cancer.
Oh, thanks.
This
Doc.
game isn't as fun as I thought it'd be, Doc.
Bet you wish you were back on your podcast, huh, Corey?
And you get more Stanford. Ooh, we got to reach out to Blatch.
That's true.
Oh, Blatchy Blatch.
Willie.
All right, we want to get Willie Garson on the pod.
Blatch, we're coming
It's a different type of fun, but still a good time with the gals. And I know you guys sometimes are what people's favorite episodes in SAT are. Oh, wonder. Mine is the last episode of season 6, part 1.
Okay.
It's a wonderful episode that makes me ugly cry 2 times from start to finish.
Wow.
It's iconic, and I can't wait to hear you guys review it.
Oh, geez. That's
Even
the
if
one I
you
about
hate
that
it
episode.
and rip it to
Sorry.
shreds. P.S. My husband and I love Steve talk. He randomly says Miranda and the Steve voice all the time. Ha.
Aw.
Thank you for all the laughs. I've given you all 5 Cosmo reviews. Sincerely, Tina.
I love Iowa.
That's great. That's one of the. I've never been to Iowa. That's one of the 3 states I've never been to.
That was so nice of you. Thank you so
Iowa
much
is a
for-
swing state, right? It's a
swing state.
It's a
and they got a caucus there.
It's an amazing place. Tina, thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much, Tina.
Thank you. That's really cool.
was really
And
kind.
It's really cool.
it's actually cool.
I feel really bad that we, did our penis talk for like a solid 3 minutes
Yeah.
before that. So, Tina, that has nothing to do
Sorry
with
about
you.
that.
Thanks for being a wonderful palate cleanser
Yeah.
to our you know what? It's because we haven't, the past few podcasts that we've done have been high stress situations.
Yeah.
It's true.
And so I feel like we were excited to just be together.
We're excited to have a little goofing.
And now we get to fucking watch the show.
That's
Yeah,
right.
which we
We
haven't
haven't
really.
You haven't seen it in
December?
a while, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's been since December. We've been doing a lot of different episodes whenever we're not watching the show.
So I'm thinking we should do a quick recap of what
Yeah.
happened in
the end of season 4?
Season 4. And I know we did this with, when we were talking to our friend Sarah Jessica.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys listen to that episode,
Yep.
No big deal. But quick recap: Carrie,
She plays Carrie Bradshaw.
she plays Carrie Bradshaw on the show. Big move to Napa, and so Carrie is bigless in New York.
Bigless in
Miranda
New
just
York.
had her baby Brady, Brady Hobbes.
This is insane.
Samantha, Detective Samantha, busted Richard cheating on her.
Rizzo.
Rizzo.
She had
yes,
on her
Detective
Rizzo hat.
Yep.
And Charlotte. What happened? Oh, Charlotte opened herself up to dating again. She went on a date with the woe guy who was very impressed with her home. So she's officially done with Trey. And it seems like our ladies are ready to get back in action.
Yeah.
And
Table is set, I would say.
yeah,
Absolutely.
the table's set. I feel like it makes sense for a lighter, sillier season. And also
Yeah, they're all rebounding a little bit. Like,
they're setting up. I feel like they're setting up to go back to some real hookup antics with Carrie.
yeah.
Because it's like she's been in and out of these like very big relationships, and I feel like Miranda's going to be in a stable. I mean, I feel like
You think Miranda's gonna be stable with Steve, or is she gonna?
I think so.
I mean,
for now.
I don't think she's gonna be dating anyone.
Well, she's
for
going to be
the
raising a
foreseeable
kid. She doesn't have time to go to a bar and fuck some rando.
That's true.
You know what I mean? But I'm just guessing that Carrie and Samantha team up for some real nights out.
What about
Because
Charlotte?
they're both. Well, maybe Charlotte will come too,
Charlotte
but
will
I
be there.
feel like I have no idea. I'm just guessing that it's like they're both newly single and
Yeah.
free in a way that they haven't been in a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe Charlotte will get in on it.
It'll be interesting to see how they balance, like how they include Miranda equally. Because
Yeah.
you're right. If this were real life, a normal mother would be like sleep deprived, feeding their baby, like especially a single mother would be like, ass to ankles in baby care.
Do you ever say you're tired to a parent and then catch yourself?
Dude,
I'm sure I have.
I do that.
I'm just tired. And then I'm like,
I do that. I will complain to friends of mine and just be like, I'm like so exhausted. And then like, oh, you guys have two children.
I only got 7.5 hours of sleep last night. Give me a second.
And they're like, why did you only get 7.5 hours? You're like, I was out super late.
I was out till 3.
It was awful.
But then I slept till 11. So
yeah, it's kind of nice. I personally, I just need my mornings. When do your mornings start? 10:30?
10:30. That's when I wake up.
That's the afternoon for us. Oh, that's crazy. It's not mine.
That's why.
Yeah, they're like 3 naps in at that point.
Yeah. Maybe you should have thought about that before you had a kid. No, shut up.
Whoa.
Wow.
I'll say that to any person that comes with me, okay?
Wow.
You literally were just talking about how you feel bad telling parents you're tired, but you're just going to tell them to go ahead and shut up for having kids?
I mean, you shouldn't. I don't know. I can't think of a way to make this funny. I don't. Pain.
So this episode is called. I had it pulled up. I believe it's called Anchors Away.
Anchors Away.
Right? Am I crazy? I think that's right.
I think someone's gonna be effing on a boat.
So yeah, you think it's about? See, I think it's what's it called? It slipped my mind when all the sailors come to the city.
Oh, Fleet Week.
It's gonna be a Fleet Week episode.
Oh, I bet.
If you've ever lived in New York, Fleet Week, like the buzz behind Fleet Week is a real thing.
It's crazy,
and it's like our city turns like white uniformed men walking around our city, and I think like you can feel it. You can feel the estrogen levels rising as well. Like women get really excited about like handsomely dressed uniformed men walking.
Even one time I was working in Midtown on the West Side, and I was walking back to work, and there was a whole group of sailors behind me, and I was like, I never do this. I don't ever like speak to strangers. And I finally just like stopped, and they all came up to me. I was like, hey guys. And I held up my phone. I was like, everybody get in. And I took a big selfie with them. And they were like, all right, man.
Oh yeah.
Because they're like celebrities.
Yeah.
Everyone's like loves to get pictures with them. And they're just like, thank you so much. Good to see you guys.
Yeah. So I don't think we've done a Fleet Week episode yet. And I think that's like a real authentic New York thing.
Do you feel like, are you ever kind of surprised when you hear stories? Because it's like, I know, I get it. I'm not saying they are
stories in general, like the oral tradition carrying on.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised.
Have you ever heard of a story? No, but like I bet there are just some sailors out there that have like a man in uniform. Like I want to know. Please write in to our Instagram or to email of if you've ever set out. We don't need to name names. If you've ever set out to just be like, I am going to have sex with a sailor this weekend, because I wonder if that's how I feel like it might be for some of them.
Oh,
yeah.
for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Totally.
I could tell there was a 3-day weekend this past, and
I had sex with a sailor,
and I had sex with the sailor.
How many?
No, I could feel there was. You remember in Bandby when Thumper says Twitter pated, and then as an adult you're like, that just means horny. Yeah. That's all Thumper's talking about.
Yeah.
There was like something in the air this weekend.
Oh, totally.
And I felt it, and then a friend of mine, just a random girl, just gave up, handed her number to it, and then texted him. She texted him, and I was just like, I could feel it when I woke up.
Yeah,
everyone was about. So that's how I feel like. That's how I feel like Fleet Week is for sailors.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, for sailors, I'm sure they're just like, we're going to the freaking city and we're in uniform.
Yeah, there's an entire musical about it, On the Town.
There you go.
Really? Can you sing a song from it?
Yeah,
let's go.
Sing one song and then we'll go watch the episode.
I forget.
I know it, I think.
New York, New York, a hell of a town. The Bronx is up and the battery's down. The people ride in a hole in the ground. New York, New York, it's a hell of a town.
Dance break, 5, 6, 7.
That was great.
You guys can't see us dancing all in unison right now.
Hold on.
Put your taps on. Sailors. All right, let's go watch this.
All right, season 5, episode 1, Anchors Away. I was thinking that this also could be the episode where Steve just finally gets that anchor tattoo on his bicep.
Oh, I can't wait.
Anyway, we'll be back.
Or on his penis.
Episode 67, Anchors Away. Carrie realizes her relationship with New York City is as dysfunctional as her relationship with men. Charlotte decides she needs to distance herself from her former life as Mrs. MacDougal. Miranda tries to adjust to her new life with her baby, Brady Hobbes. Samantha gets phone calls from Richard begging her to take him back. And now, back to the boys.
And we're back.
Hey.
We're back.
Anchors away, baby.
Anchors away.
We nailed, without even knowing it, like everything we talked about naturally is exactly what that episode was about.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Shut it down. We're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. You already heard our recap before we saw the episode. That's how we're the
Bradshaw clairvoyants. We're so good.
We're so in our first few seasons we didn't know. Now we know.
No, we know. We know how to write.
I'll say this.
Staff.
I more than any episode in a while, I'm like, that is totally what it's like to live in New York in your 30s.
They really did nail a lot of the stuff.
That. You know, at the end, she was like, New York's my boyfriend. You can't shit talk it. They crushed the New York experience right there.
Yeah.
Very much to where there's just like, I love this place. And then it like rains on you and it's windy and it sucks.
And you're randomly standing under an awning with a stranger.
Dude,
that's happened to me so many times.
That happened the other day at work. We had to do, you guys know that I work on videos, and we had to get this shot for this thing. And we're trying to shoot in real time, the thing we're trying to shoot. And it started raining, rain snowing. And this mother and her daughter stood under the awning right where we were shooting. And then a person on my team was like, I'm sorry, is there any way you guys can move? And the mom just goes, no, we have to stand here. And we're just like, what?
Yeah.
What are you? And there was an awning beside us, but it was full on like New York. You just won't move.
Yeah, I respect that mom.
Well, then
that's totally, that could be fucking Miranda Hobbes.
You know what it was,
it's
though?
just like,
no, I'm staying. I'm enjoying my coffee.
Yeah.
I will not move.
She promptly afterward goes, what are you guys shooting? True story.
Be like, get to the next awning and I'll let you know.
We're shooting B-roll footage of asshole New Yorkers.
Yeah. Also, like I talked to, you can speak to it, John, about being married, but there is that thing that it's like, they captured it well, that it's like, it's even when you try, like you're in a different schedule. Like what Samantha did, we can do the recap, but just real quick, what Samantha did made sense. It was like, could understand why it hurt their feelings. And also like, you just have a different rhythm. And I understand why it hurt Miranda.
Yeah.
And then Carrie just being like, all right, I'm going to go. Like it captured.
You're specifically referring to when Samantha like basically like pushed her into a cab.
Yeah.
And was like, we got to go. And she was like kind of upset with the PC nature of the like coffee because Brady was there.
Yeah. And I just feel like you've even said like once you got married, like if you don't like, tell people like I still would like to hang out, people will just kind of assume.
Totally. Yeah.
So I just so much of this episode.
I still would like to hang out.
Yeah. That's so weird. You always say it to us like in that voice, and it's like, yeah, we understand. We don't want to hang out with you. It's not about you and Kate.
We just don't like you and your dumb
goodbye.
voice.
I think that goes even though when you don't have kids. Like I think it even goes for when you tell people you don't want to hang out, but you really do. They should know that you're like, even though I said I'm tired, I want to go home. They should know that they need to pull you out of your shell and be like, come hang out.
Just one more.
That is, I mean,
just one more.
Anytime that you're like, sorry, I'm going home. They know.
Just one more.
You're just like, please. You
All
know
right,
what I really want.
Cory and I are just one more people to the max.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes, you are.
just go home.
I'm not a just one more
You're
person.
not a just one more person.
No, I have the amount of drinks I want to have, and then I just go straight home.
You and
Do
our
not pass
friend
go.
Rachel.
Yeah, we're done.
She is an unbelievable. I will leave when I choose. Thank you.
Yeah.
She is a person of principle.
Yeah.
And we're not.
No, you're not.
Dude, you know what it is, though? It's
All right, we got
Let's
to
do the recap so we can get in deep into
hold on,
this.
just one more comment.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Let's do the
Penis.
recap.
We nailed it. Anchors away. Fleet Week comes to New York once a year. All the sailors come to New York. This is what the the entire episode was about. And more specifically, it was about your past. The through line of the episode that Carrie writes about is, does the sense of adventure do we still have the sense of adventure that once flickered inside of us, or have we missed our boat? Kind of happens from Charlotte bringing up an article she read about only having 2 loves in life, and then Carrie realizing, well, she had Aiden, she had Big, is her love life over? And so that's kind of like the through line of the episode. Charlotte is realizing that people still address her as Mrs. MacDougal. It's still written on her door, so she needs to change that stuff. Samantha is trying to figure out what she wants to do with Richard. She saw him out at sushi, and she needs to figure out. He's leaving her voice messages if she wants to give him another try and reach out to him again. Miranda, of course, just had Brady, so she is no longer able to compete in the same. You guys are jerks. You guys are just straight up jerks.
Trying to get John to laugh.
Not going to happen. Now I'm just angry.
Okay, sorry. Finish
Miranda has her son, so she can't necessarily partake in the same lady type things, with like the coffee dates or the chat and choose. And then I think that's it. Did I miss anyone?
No, you did great, and you made it past our distractions. You can tell we haven't done a JTB in a while because we're
both of them were completely naked, the same way that all the characters in the show got naked.
Yep,
there's five great boobs in this.
If you think about the SJP nudity clause, they went full force with her.
Absolutely.
No nudity clause in this one.
Her skirt blows up at one point, though.
Her skirt does blow up one time. New York, her boyfriend blows her skirt up at one point.
Yeah.
I did think about that, but then I was like, she's been in lingerie like a million times in this show.
Yeah. So the first thing I want to talk about is Samantha and Richard.
Okay.
My biggest question about it all is, so Samantha saw Richard going down on another woman. She's pissed about it. She's like, he's leaving her messages. And she is like on this campaign / rampage to ruin his life. She agrees to meet up with him. She throws a dirty martini in his face. She then papers his neighborhood with pictures of him being like cheater, liar, scumbag. But my question is, isn't she still working for him? Wouldn't she still see him every day?
I was wondering, you brought that up as we were watching it.
Yeah.
I don't know if she is or not. Well, he didn't really address that.
I don't remember her getting a new job in season 4. I mean, their relationship went sour, but as far as I remember, she was still his PR person.
I thought you were going to say that whole like lead up and be like, so my question is, do vaginas smell like fish? Because they went so hard into that.
They did.
Well, they talked about, because because they were in front of Brady.
I was like, that's kind of like an insult, not like the norm, is it?
Well, she called it sushi.
Well, because she didn't want to say
she said fish and chips.
She didn't want to say pussy in front of Brady.
She didn't want to say pussy in front of Brady. And so then she said, call it sushi. And then Miranda was like, man, ordering fish and chips would have been a bad idea. I think because they were already on the sushi thing.
Okay.
And then, of course, Richard takes her to Sushi Samba, which I think was some pretty clever writing there.
Yeah.
And that place is closed?
It closed like last year.
A year ago. Yeah, a year and a half ago, something like that.
I don't know. This would be the one thing maybe I think, although the whole paper in the neighborhood would affect his business, is like, I thought maybe she still works there, but he knows since he fucked up.
He can't do anything about it.
She's, like romantically, she can hold this over him.
And he seems like one not to be threatened by that.
Yeah, which I can't tell.
Well, he's not. He loves her.
Yeah, that's why I think it like shows that it's a big. It's either that he does love her, or like this is the most he's ever been thrown off his game.
Here's my.
So do you think he really does love her, or do you think like I don't know?
I think so, but I don't think they're going to get back together. Or if they do, I don't think it'll last. Based on the way we've interacted with people. At the end of the episode,
she was at the sailor party, her favorite holiday of the year, and she was ducking out of the sailor party to listen to voicemails from Richard.
I want to know this.
Yeah.
How does Samantha talk to Carrie when she cheated on Aiden? Because I want to go back and remember that, because if she's like,
that's a good question.
Hey, it happens sort of thing, that would be an interesting conflict.
Right.
Because
She's pretty gracious to Carrie in this one, where Carrie says, like, I cheated. Isn't that the conversation?
Yeah.
And then Carrie's like, and then we got together, and look how that worked out. And then Samantha is like, it doesn't hold it over her head that she's a cheater. Like, she's like, you're just like Richard. Like, she's pretty gracious to her there.
I mean, I guess that would show that, like, you don't necessarily know how much it hurts to be cheated on until it actually happens.
Yeah, man, that's some Rascal Flatts shit right there.
Well, how's that song
what's
go?
that song?
I don't know. I just think that's what they sing about.
Oh, also,
you don't know what it's like to be cheated on until you really get cheated on.
Yeah, man.
mandolin solo. This is like, Dixie Chicks.
Did they say
She's in an
mandolins?
Earl has to die type mood right now.
What's Earl Has to Die? Is it a
Goodbye,
band?
Earl has to die.
Goodbye,
na,
Earl.
na, 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 na.
Goodbye.
We need a break. Let's go down to the lake, girl. We'll pack a lunch.
That's,
and
you know
stuff
what?
you in the trunk.
I know there's not a lot of
great karaoke.
women in the show wearing headphones, but if Samantha was, she'd be listening to that song 100%.
She would listen to, although the Earl Had to Die song,
Well,
it
that's
has
like,
nothing to do with cheating. It's
I know,
a
but-
spousal abuse situation.
yeah, but still, this was emotional abuse.
It was emotional abuse.
And still,
dude, Richard was beating that pussy up.
What's the
Sorry for any lightness of terrible situations.
what's the best
That
like
joke was meant to be funny and not to make light of any sort of abuse.
Oh, my
Please
goodness.
don't hold the Bradshaw boys
what
responsible
is
for that.
what is the best song
We
to
are so-
listen to if you've been cheated on?
Oh, that's a good. Well,
It's easy.
Have you guys ever been cheated on before?
I have my submission. I don't think I have.
I don't know.
I
that
did.
one?
I did
I
not.
feel like-
What do you
feel
mean?
like-
What do you mean you don't know?
I'm not sure. I mean,
I got you.
I'm assuming maybe my high
I have-
school girlfriend.
I have
my
not.
college
Hey,
girlfriend.
I'm
I have
letting
not.
you. I'm letting you know. You have.
What?
No, I'm kidding.
I'm trying to think. Like, there's that one Carrie Underwood song.
I was going to say that.
before he
like,
cheats.
I feel like
No,
that's
is it
like an
maybe
anthem
next
for-
time he'll think before he cheats. Yeah.
I mean that
song.
Louisville, stuck to both headlights.
that song when it.
I tell my honey inside.
They're pretty little four-wheel drive.
Dude, that needs to be for season 5. Can that be our theme song for season 5?
Yeah.
Can we just buy the rights to it instead of our piano Sex and the City? Just
We got Carrie Underwood on the pod.
their song.
That was one of those songs, and I would also put I'd put Bruno Mars, most of his catalog in there.
Really?
Whoa.
Uptown Funk. No, just that. The song came out, and like the day after it came out, it felt like a classic.
But
What are you
not,
talking
not,
about?
but not an
Bruno
anti-
Mars
Carrie
or
Underwood.
Carrie
Not a,
Underwood?
wait,
Oh,
but not,
yeah.
but not a cheating song.
I know, but I was just saying that song, when that came out, I think skyrocketed to like maybe one of the best cheating songs of all time.
Yeah,
Wait,
tweet
which
at
did?
us.
Carrie
Tweet us
Underwood.
as-
Carrie
or
Underwood.
Send us an Instagram. Like, what are some other great tweeting songs or cheating songs?
Tweeting song.
Tweeting songs. I want to know what. I want to know what Samantha's listening to.
That's one of the best tweeting songs.
Yeah.
Okay. What about
Tweedledee-dee-dee.
Rockin' Robin, one of the
That's
best
a
tweeting
good-
songs.
What's the
That's
best?
a good cheating
Wait,
song.
what's the best tweeting song? John?
The best?
Tweedledee-dee-dee.
Tweedledee. That's number one.
It has to be it, man. Dude,
gotta be
if
the
you
best
just
tweeting
got cheated on, put on your headphones, listen to some, what is that?
Rockin' Robin.
Rockin'
By the
Robin.
Jackson 5.
You will just feel a rage like you've never felt before.
I want to send a fucking bird over to peck his eyes out.
Wait, but that's if you got tweeted on, not
Yeah, that's if
cheated
you
on.
got
That's if
tweeted
someone.
on.
That's
Right,
if
right.
someone tweeted at you. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
didn't like
Wait,
how
what
it went.
about what's the Patsy Cline song that Willie Nelson wrote?
Not crazy? Crazy?
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. I was thinking.
Crazy.
What about Blue, the Leanne Rimes song?
I'm
I don't know.
blue, da ba dee ba da da. That one?
Yeah.
That one? I have a blue house with a blue window. And no relationship anymore.
You know what I think
Sad,
the
sad.
best cheating song of all time is?
What?
Think about how it must have felt to be any one of these women. Mambo number 5.
Ooh.
Mambo number 5.
That
Lou
guy
Bega
was
was out there
playing everyone.
just
Yeah.
banging all these girls. And Rita,
Whoever Monica was, she was like, "What the? Who the fuck is Rita?"
and when
He had a lot of pictures in different women's picture frames where his face got crossed out.
Yeah. He's like giving out lockets to all these different girls. They find each other and find out he gave us both those locket to
man.
Monica, Rita. Who
else
were
is
the
there?
other names?
A little bit of Monica, a little bit of Erica, a little bit of
Erica,
Tina all
Tina.
night long, a little bit
Who the
of
fuck is Tina?
dude.
Yeah, hey, I
that's
looked
true.
at your phone. Who's Tina?
Monica.
Dude, Lou
Monica,
Vega. Is
hang
Lou
on.
Bega? Is that Vega?
Lou Bega.
Lou Bega.
Lou Bagel? He's like, dude.
Lou Bagel.
Lou Bagel is
He was like,
a little bit of everything on the side, a little bit of sesame all night long,
A little bit of lots
garlic,
makes me your man.
lightly toasted, lightly.
with some scallion cream cheese.
Lou Bagel's a legend.
Dude, he goes out to the club and he's like, come over here, you little pumpernickel. And he just
Oh, it's so
Oh,
dumb.
man.
It's been a while since we've done this, y'all. All right.
It's funny because when we have a respected guest, we're always holding back
Super
a little
buttoned
bit.
up.
We're always holding
wait-
back.
Dude, I
ready for these
totally
real
think
dumb
next
jokes.
time Sarah Jessica Parker calls in and be like, all right, so
So we need
there's
to
Lou Vega, but we came up with a character named Lou Bagel.
What do you think?
Lou Bagel.
What
And
do you
so
think? Can you call us back?
Basically, he flirts with girls through a lot of bagel. They're not really puns. It's just him
They're not-
replacing.
it's just him replacing names with bagel flavors.
Okay.
With bagel flavor.
Okay.
All right, Samantha.
Samantha,
Wait, we talked about Samantha Charlotte.
she's
Charlotte. Yeah.
yeah, but
Samantha,
in general,
where
we got
do we
on that
land on
because
Samantha?
Samantha's just in that.
Yeah,
I was
Richard
cheating on-
is Lou Bagel.
yeah.
Question.
Is Lou Bagel.
Do you think how much longer you think the Richard storyline's going to hang on?
I think
2 more
I don't
eps?
think we'll see him after next episode.
Yeah, I agree.
I think she's
gonna fuck him?
She's gonna give him a chance.
You
and
think
then-
she's going to give him a chance?
or maybe she's gonna like go out on top. She's gonna like wrap him around her finger and then cross him.
Yeah,
Maybe he'll walk in on her getting some sushi, and he'll be like,
Whoa.
"Oh yeah, baby, I want to get it on this," and she's like, "Nope,
dude.
not tonight."
Or she'll do fan fiction and she'll just chop his dick off like
That'd be
I said
awesome.
Carrie would do.
That's true. Or maybe she'll end up at where we talked about Plethier. The Plethier. The
All right, so
okay, hold on. We had a nice little cameo from Chandra Wilson from Grey's Anatomy, though, as the cop. The cop walked up and was like, "You can't deface this neighborhood." And she's
Legit hilarious concept too.
Super-
she walks
super
up,
funny.
she's like, "Oh yeah, you can."
Yeah, that
like,
was
she's
great.
like, "Yeah, you can totally do that."
All right, so Charlotte is bummed that people are still calling her Mrs. MacDougal. It's still written on her
That'd be very
door.
painful.
So
That would
she
be tough.
is going. She's charted a path forward to redefine herself as the New York. She changes her nameplate and she goes to a Navy party with one thing on her mind.
She was. I want to fuck a sailor tonight.
Yeah, she
Capote
became
Duncan it.
Capote Duncan. It
Capote
came
Duncan.
full circle.
Dude, what if when they
Dude,
at
Charlotte Duncan.
at the end of the episode they show her door again and it just says Duncan.
Dude, that would have been.
That'd be amazing.
But yeah,
She went straight up.
You know
Capote
what?
Duncan. I'm gonna fucking say that tonight.
Capote Duncan was originally on a date with her.
Yeah,
He's-
that's where she got it.
Yeah,
that was a
that's where she-
callback.
that's where she
You
picked
guys
it up.
think that this is we just made up? We just knew how influential that character
Yeah,
was.
totally.
We called the Flea Week thing. We called Capote Duncan. We knew it.
Here's the thing, ladies, tuning in. There's such a difference between a girl, a beautiful woman like Charlotte York saying, "I want to have sex tonight," and a guy saying that, like,
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's literally what most guys look like when they're like going out. They're just like,
Red in the face.
yeah, like, hey, where are you from? What do you do? And just giant boner all night.
Just like if they were a cartoon, there'd be squiggly lines
Yeah.
radiating from their face, like a Beavis and Butthead character.
yeah. And that is the energy of any guy going out to a bar thinking, "I want to have sex tonight." And she's like, I'm gonna have sex tonight. And she was fully prepared to show that Twitty.
I don't know. She released some sort of energy because it caused Carrie and Samantha to stumble whenever she was talking about it.
Yeah.
Maybe she had some sort of like electromagnetic pulse.
Yeah. There was just like it was like it was like the switch of her vagina had been turned off.
Boom,
and then she just it was like one of those like red thing in like a Frankenstein, just like
yeah,
like doing the word, like
came down and hit her on the head.
And then
boom, 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 boom.
That's her. Only it said womb.
Womb.
But yeah, she went out with that energy. I mean, that's even what we said before. Twitter pated.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
There is those times where you're like, you feel Fleet Week is one. You can tell the city is hornier.
Yeah. I mean, I think people are going to watch this and be like, they totally watched the episode beforehand.
We did not
film the false, a false intro like they did with Mark Menchaca. No. Yeah. Absolutely not. We didn't know. Yeah, we're just smart.
We're smart. We know what Fleet Week is like, and we know what it looks like when someone who's been hurt and is moving past their breakup flips a switch, turns the vagina back on, and goes
boom. Kevin fucks a different sailor every single Fleet Week.
Kevin and I got in a cab one time.
Mark and Andrew and Tito and Roger.
Is that your
and
version
Colonel
of Mambo number 5?
Those are all
the sailors that I've fucked.
That's great.
All right. So her storyline was like pretty standard Fleet Week. I think like everyone jokes about that in New York, and it's like the thing of going to nab themselves a sailor. But then she realized that she took out one of her boobs that she just wasn't ready for it. So it's going to be more of a slow journey for her. But it was good that she realized, like, I think her mentality of like, you only get 2 loves. Like you had Aiden, you had Big was like a little bit toxic for their group of friends.
Yeah.
And so I think she's like slowly gaining some perspective, which will probably be helpful for everyone.
I also think if you're in the military, you're like, I could die tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So I may as well just be like, can I see your boobs? Like, let's cut to the chase. It's like, you just go out there and
I was like a little bit uncomfortable with that.
I was
like, I think that's a move that I would never in a million years ever utilize.
Kevin, I support our troops too, but I was a little uncomfortable with that statement.
So like my question is like, but when would that be? She was obviously there she was DTF. Mm-hmm. So at what point would it be okay for a guy to like say something like that and it not be super creepy and too over the top aggro?
Well, his body language and his face was weird too. He was like wide-eyed and he was like
yeah, he looked like really
he was the guy we just talked about.
He was Beavis and Butthead mode. Yeah, he was that guy.
He was that guy, and it was just like it was like
Twitter pated.
Listen, he didn't know that he already could be in that classic 5 bedroom banging one of the most beautiful women in New York, Charlotte York.
Classic 6. Classic 6?
Classic 6. He could have been at her apartment, but instead, since he was in like Guy's version of I Want to Have Sex Tonight, not normal human version.
Right. He could have been swimming in a bathtub full of cardboard babies, but instead...
Dude, he could have been knee deep.
Now, wait. When he asked
in
her
the good linens and the nice silverware.
He could have been in that... It was in... What's it called? Garden Magazine?
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
And right when he saw her pubic hair, he'd be like, "Good housekeeping."
So like, when it's never something I would do, but I imagine like some women, if they're out like wanting to hook up with a guy, that would be like,
I think
advanced that they would be like comfortable with.
I think this is the way. If you're gonna ask that, which I don't think I've ever asked a girl to show her boobs, but. If there was a way, because he did do it creepy and asked multiple times.
Right.
I think
they were also kind of out in the open, right?
Her boobs?
Well, they were. But him and him and her, weren't they like at a table? They were kind of hidden away, but not really.
I've never been to a Fleet Week party, but I imagine maybe they do have an energy of like there is major testosterone, horny energy. But I feel it's like, I have a question. This is what, and then be like cheeky about it and be like, because you don't want to be like, show me your tits. Yeah. It'd be more like, we know this is crazy, and then maybe it'd be like, I'm actually up for something crazy.
I also feel like that, like when this was filmed in the early 2000s, like the Girls Gone Wild culture was like a little bit more of a thing.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
I didn't even think about that.
Who knows? Maybe it's still like a thing in some places where guys are just like,
Let's throw on any TV at 1:30 a.m. and see if it's still on there for 1999. That was an entire decade of just
at like 1:30.
How come it was always like I'm just remembering a steel drum. Was that like there?
Oh my!
You know what I'm talking about? It was like we all saw this. It was like the steel drum. If we could get our hands on one of those old commercials, I would definitely.
We'll go on YouTube. Yes, it was totally that.
Yeah,
and it was just like that and Wild on E.
Yeah,
they would go to Bali, and I would go to get out my lotion.
You would go to Bali yourself.
All right,
but
let's talk about Miranda. Miranda becoming a mother, huge deal.
Yeah.
And she's worried that her friendships are going to change.
And they do. And they will.
Of course.
But she thinks it in a really...
Yeah, but I think there was an appropriate way. Like, I think her main beef was, she obviously was thinking about those things, but her main beef was, I think, that how Samantha just completely...
That was not cool.
No, so Samantha, like, that was a really bitch move.
Yeah, it was,
Samantha, of course,
kind of just
threw her into a cab, shut the door, and walked away instead of acknowledging her as a person.
I will say, go ahead.
I thought they handled just the Miranda storyline was one of the better.
Totally.
This of just being like, understand. Like we have friends that are new parents and stuff, and I'm like, oh man, like I understand and sympathize with them more through this episode from that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I mean, props to Miranda and props to them. It makes sense. But for just throwing her back in there, like the fact that it was like, we're all at brunch again and Brady's here, which like totally makes sense. But it could be like, meanwhile, Miranda was back at home.
Yeah.
But like they just threw her back into the mix, which was great.
If Brady's first word isn't pussy, that's a huge missed opportunity for the show.
Totally.
Because they say it's
a good point.
Pussy.
What did he say? Sushi? No, pussy.
No. Oh, no.
And then there like her she kind of had like two storylines almost. She had the storyline of like a little bit of conflict with her friends and feeling like she's going to miss her friendships. But on the same side, she had Steve and, Steve being in her home when she came home and getting too comfortable with her new nanny and, not really wanting him super around. And then needing to reach out to Steve when Brady's belly button fell off and the cats started eating it. So
that belly button thing was...
I really liked what they said, where they said like Steve, when they were talking about two loves and Charlotte was like, you had Steve. And he's like, Steve's not a core shaker. And then at the end they said, Steve may not have been a core shaker, but when Miranda was shaken to the core, she called Steve. And like, that is like so Steve.
That's so Steve.
That also their relationship too. That it's like, it's that might not feel like the same way of that spark, but they're like soulmates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just a grinder.
He's not a core shaker. He's a
grinder.
He's a grinder.
He is on grinder.
I need to I gotta get out of here because I got a couple matches on grinder.
Hey, does anybody have any poppers?
I need some amyl nitrate. You guys have any of that? Yes. That seems like, I don't know, the relationships are all over the place in the show currently. But that seems like what you want a little bit though. I think, right? Don't you want the, like, at that moment where she's in, like, that's real life where you're it's like, oh, he's not a core shaker, but like we're raising a kid together. I don't know where they landed into how they're going to raise this kid.
Right.
But the fact that he's like, I want to be involved.
Communicate about that a little more.
They could definitely,
They're just on.
She's just hiring silent people to come take care of her child.
And then he shows, like, they just need to establish some ground rules of like, hey, here's when you can come over. And then he also needs to understand he's being a little weird too by just like showing up. Like,
yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. It is like an interesting balance, but she's trying to not just do exactly what society tells her to do. And with that, I would say comes weird challenges of like figuring out how to do that.
Yeah.
I thought the way they handled her breastfeeding was like a little bit odd. Like why, like Carrie even was like, I mean, I know she was not used to the size of her breasts and the size of her nipples, but Carrie being like, I think I need to go see a trauma doctor for that.
I know.
It was like, really? This is like your best friend in the whole wide world. You're a woman. You knew she was pregnant, and like you're gonna like treat her like a high school boy seeing a woman breastfeed for the first time.
It's kind of funny. Steve handled it in a way more mature time. He's like, how are your nipples?
How are your nipples?
Yeah.
And then he joked about, he's like, yeah, I ask everybody that. But he was like, I know that things are different now. Is everything okay?
I just thought that was like a little bit off brand for Carrie. I mean, maybe she was making fun of it, but
my only thought with that, which is that I wonder if it's like, if that was coming from Steve, it would be like, that made me feel insecure. Coming from a woman, it's like, it's like, this
is just what happens to our bodies.
So there could be that, but it definitely came off to me. I was like, whoa, easy.
I do feel like it would be interesting to be around women in that scenario. Like, I mean, John, you're married to a woman.
Yes.
But I do feel like anytime I've been around close girlfriends or like in a relationship and hearing how girls talk and women talk together and in moments like that, it'd be like, I feel like there's probably something that they probably kind of hit on the head a little bit.
Yeah,
it's just
probably.
like Carrie being like, good God, your boobs are huge.
Yeah.
Like there's conversations go on
and I
all
think
the time.
that, I think that happens.
Women have a way of talking to each other like that.
Friends in my life that have had like major life events, like whether or not they're like had a baby or gotten married, like or there's been like a loss in their family. Like sometimes you as the friend who are supporting them you think that you're going to like be like equipping yourself to talk about the baby or the marriage or like, how's it going? And sometimes like they just want to talk about normal shit.
Yeah.
And like they've been thinking about it the whole time. Like that's in their head.
Yeah.
They just want to like talk about like the score of the football game or the weather outside or stuff like that. So maybe it was one of those scenarios.
Yeah. So much of that stuff, I think it's just making someone feel normal and just, you know, being there to be like, oh yeah, we're just here. And like, I'm here while you do that stuff.
That's what made it weird and not weird, like shitty for like Miranda was like, finally got to that point. And Carrie's like, bye. She's like, wait, it's like your mom, bye.
Your
like,
mom, bye. Forehead kiss.
Yeah. Your mom now. But, because she probably was like, let's just talk about the movies or something like that.
In general, just because John, this is not a hang up, an observation. Where do you think Carrie was like in this episode in terms of Carrie talking about herself? Like how was Carrie? Where was she on her Carrie scale?
I think Carrie does good whenever she's not going through like a traumatic relationship. Like if Carrie could be in a stable relationship, I think she'd be a great friend. It's just whenever she's going through any sort of woes in her relationship, every single thing has to be about her. And every conversation, her friends' lives no longer matter.
You don't consider this a relationship that she was in with
New York?
The sailor guy? What was his name? I wish I knew his name.
Oh, it's
with Lewis.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it's just like she's totally great in episodes like this. Like she's able to like talk and be a good friend. And like I know they played on like New York being her boyfriend or significant in this relationship. But whenever she's going through anything else with Aiden or Big, and other people have big things coming up, she just like has to make it all about herself. That's what drives me crazy.
What should I do? I just cheated on this guy. My life's complicated. It's like, well, then don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miranda will be like, my mother just died. She'd be like, that reminds me, Big smelled like cigar when he came home last night. And it's like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah. So wait,
let's get to the two great loves.
Yeah.
I feel like
two great loves.
Feel like that we can talk about Carrie and the two great loves. That's a pretty important convo.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
How many great loves can you have?
Like where would someone even? I want to read that article because I don't even understand how anyone would like come up with that as a concept.
You remember the 70s, like the New York Times, like if you answer these 76 questions with a stranger, you'll love them. I wonder if it was a viral like article at the time that everyone started talking about.
Yeah.
I don't get why it would be two unless it's just like everybody has two different types of people that are like kind of a big dichotomy and you go back and forth.
And do you think it was like relational loves or do you think be like my two greatest loves are the smell of brandy and fishing? And it's just like, okay, that's who you are. You're an old soul.
And then someone's like, what about me? Shut up, Marsha.
Shut up, Marsha.
I will say, if you Google Two Great Loves. There's a ton of articles that come up, and they're all about this episode.
Maybe it's a thing. I've never heard of it. I don't believe it.
Is there a Wikipedia page on it or something? They were talking about C.S. Lewis's The Four Loves.
Four Loves. That's what it was.
No, I mean,
so there's Filio and Storge.
But that is probably true that this goes back. I don't know if this exactly does, but the idea of what love is and romance and soulmate goes back a long time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, totally. I don't believe in soulmates. I don't think someone who you're predestined to meet someone. I think that you kind of choose you're given free will to choose whatever life it is that you want. And so the idea of like you having two people that you can miss is insane.
Well, but I don't necessarily know if that's what they were saying, that if you can miss them.
Yeah, like you can. That's why Carrie was panicked about. Is like she had her two loves and now she's done, and she's like, and you will no longer like. She missed her opportunity with Aiden.
I know, but we know the future, so we know that she does take that choice and then go with one of the two.
Then he dies of a heart attack.
That's true.
So now she's what, alone at like 52?
Yeah, and then she's got to go get some matzo ball soup.
She's got to go find Aiden.
Yeah.
Can I go dig him up?
Dude, that was so...
Get out of your furniture shopping. Love me.
That was a pretty sad little thing. I guess that lady like seemed content in a way. Just having her lithium.
The crazy old New York lady. Yeah.
What is the deal with that? I've never heard of that.
Lithium is a depression drug.
It's
pretty old school.
Yeah, it's
she
like
likes it on her
it's
ice
like
cream.
before Prozac and stuff like that.
Like sugar coated.
Lexapro.
I'm trying to think. I don't necessarily subscribe to the two great loves.
I don't know if I do. I mean, like, well, it's weird because it's not. I don't understand where it comes from. Like the two great love. I mean, she said she got it from an article.
I think what you do is you just find the number one great love, and then you settle down with that, and then you just find out who's number two, and then mentally that's what you end up doing.
That's your side chick. Well, there was an article that I just saw when I was looking that up that was talking about the three great loves, and it was like your first love is like your high school puppy dog love. Your second love is the hard love, the one that you get in relationships that don't work, and it teaches you hard lessons about yourself. And
I've been in that one.
Yeah. And then the third love is the one that's like you don't expect, and it kind of breaks all the rules. And
I'm totally on board with something like that. Like I'm like, I think using that it sounds like, but then also like what happens if someone marries their high school sweetheart? Are they living in like a less authentic relationship because they didn't experience the hard love?
I would say yes. No, I'm just kidding. I think I don't know if this article says that, but another article.
You glanced at the article. Why are you not an expert?
Okay, here's the thing.
Bono married his 14-year-old girlfriend. She was 14.
He was
42,
right?
Yeah, but they met when they're 14. They're still married.
Well, no. What I was saying, the other article. There's another article that says like you can also go through these processes like with the same person.
Oh, interesting.
And
that's
true.
Sense.
Like you could go like I mean, because I have a lot of friends that got married young that are still together, and it's like I think that probably changes like when you have kids or like someone gets sick or like you learn. You just go through life.
Yeah, that brings up like a really interesting point that I want to circle back on about Bono. That this entire podcast was actually a setup for us to talk about Bono. It's the Bono cast now.
It's a beautiful girl. Hello. And I still haven't found what I'm looking for. We've been married for years.
Guys, if you don't listen to this podcast, you might notice that it magically appeared on your phone today.
The U2 cast.
Our new season just showed up on your phone through iTunes.
Uninvited. That's really interesting. I'm down with that. What I'm not down with is the way that Carrie was interpreting it. Like, there's only two. I missed it. Now I'm going to be
like she was like, things are done. No,
because what it did is it caused her, I think, and this is what I do believe in, is that you can hear something like that and then you can perceive the world in a way that will like be negative or poor.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that she changed the weather, but like, because she was down in the dumps about potentially missing her loves, she had a really bad day.
Yeah,
she
told that story to herself.
Yeah, she exactly. She probably then formed a narrative in her mind that made her have a bad day. And I think that like anytime you're using something to form your day or how you're going to live your life, like, and it's not positive, is harmful. I think you should wake up every day. You should do your primes, and then you should go out and
Do you think
a fantastic day?
that sounds like something Carrie would say to Miranda? It would be Miranda's like, my mom just died. She's like, I feel like maybe your negativity is no, but I agree with what you're saying, because that, especially, first of all of those stories of love, of those are all just like whichever ones connect with people. So it's like there are a bunch of people out there that have had two great loves, and there's enough that someone writes an article and it connects with tons of people.
Totally.
And there's also a number of people that have been like, oh, that's crazy. I had my high school girlfriend and she taught me this, and I had the middle of this thing, and then this. Like, there's enough people that story rings true. But that it should be, I mean, I don't know. If you've been married 4 times, maybe it's time you need to like take a look at yourself. Larry King. Like, clearly you're probably a dick. He's been married like 5 times, and I think he's getting divorced now from his like 5th wife.
Jeez.
But there's clearly something wrong. But like you're saying,
well, yeah, you have a demanding radio schedule.
There's clearly something wrong.
Clearly something wrong. You need
with the women that he's married. Why are they being?
Why is not one of them his producer? Because then he would just spend every day with them. With his great love.
But yeah, I guess I just mean that if you're telling yourself, like what you're saying, if you're telling yourself like, oh, am I ever going to find, like, that's going to affect the choices you make, and even the way that you treat the potential people that you do interact with.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that she was able to find the sailor, and like, it was fun. She was able to use him shit talking New York to like snap herself out of it.
Dude, how pissed that dude! That dude did all the cards right though, and then he walked away, and his little
he didn't even get to see
his little boner was like, "What? I was all ready."
I know he had to go back to Louisiana. But do you think Carrie did? I mean, this is like the show and the writing wrapping itself up. But at the end, she was like, "Our past is an anchor holding us back. We need to like." Pull up the anchor and move on to a new sail to a new self.
Yeah.
So I guess that means she kind of came full circle. She
kind of went see the writer of this episode like smiling as he writes that. Just like, man, I'm fucking nailing it right now.
Nailing it.
But yeah, I do think she did come to that. And also right after a big traumatizing event, you know, like when someone goes through a breakup or something, like you kind of you just know you're like, oh fuck, I'm gonna be so annoying for the next month to all my friends, and hopefully they can handle me being annoying.
That's like when we became friends after your big breakup.
Yeah.
Remember that night?
Wait, where was that?
We like went out and stayed out to a party in Williamsburg till like 6 a.m.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. And I was going out that night with that energy of like, I want to meet a girl.
Yeah.
And it was instead I got something better. I met you.
Aw.
We stayed out till 5.
Still together.
And then we got what, sandwiches?
Sandwiches at corner 4th and 9th.
Corner of 4th and 9th. 5th and 9th.
5th and 9th.
At 5 a.m.
That's right.
It was awesome.
It was great times.
That's around the same time I was meeting you too.
Yeah. It was one of Cammy's parties. Remember those?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Social
Cammy parties.
Yeah. But
well, we should probably this has been a great episode.
Guys.
I don't want to leave.
I don't want to leave.
But we got
a lot of talking.
Let's talk Cosmos. You know, we rate every episode 1 to 5 Cosmos. Let's think of our Cosmo rating and say it at the same time.
Okay, got mine.
I got mine.
Got mine.
3, 2, 1.
3.25. What'd you say?
I said 3.
I said 3.75.
I wish I would have gone higher. Damn it.
4. I said 4.25.
I do want to wish I would have gone higher. This was a great episode. It was like, it just felt, I think I should have gone higher, but I'm also a little curious if I would have like not, we waited a long time. We haven't seen the show in a long time. And this was like our first episode back in a long time. And so I feel like maybe like I really loved it back a lot. But if we watched this and with 10 other random episodes, I'm not sure if I would have liked it as much as the other ones. But it was a super fun episode. I think we knew exactly what was going to happen with the Fleet Week. But I think if you're going to make a show about New York and not do a Fleet Week episode, you're a damn fool. So it was great. It was great to see ladies navigate through that world. Yeah. And then a lot of guests came back. We didn't even talk about Mario Cantone came back. Magda came back. So it was great to see some familiar faces.
Yeah. Mario Cantone, crushed. Like that was such a great scene.
Oh yeah,
Great scene with him.
10:30 a.m. The gym.
I said 375. There's part of me that wanted to go a little higher. I think I've got a little bit of the like season 5 scaries where I'm like, is the show not going to be as good? And there were a couple moments that felt a little weird, like when she was talking to that dude underneath the awning. There was like a couple weird moments where she was like acting really big at him, like there, and like the diner. There were a couple of things I was like, this feels sort of off tone for the show.
Yeah.
But if you look at the amount of stuff they accomplished in the episode, they like got a lot of stuff done. They all had storylines, and it was just like good to be back. And I think personally, the Bradshaw Boys had a huge missed opportunity that we didn't bring back Cajun Feminist with that sailor from Louisiana. We really, really had a very missed opportunity to have a Bradshaw Boys character call back, but we'll get him back one day.
We'll get the
Cajun Feminist will come back.
I believe we should be paid the same, man.
You don't. If you, I'll say this: if that lady gonna show your tits, you better show your dick. That's what I say.
At least the shaft. You don't have to show the head.
I'm just saying, it's a tip for tat.
One tit, one ball. It's fair to me.
I'd say tip for tip. That's what I'd say.
I want to go for a Klobuchar one ticket. Oh.
I would say, I might be in the Yang Gang, but I don't know. We got a big field. We got to all come together at some point. I'd say that much. Anybody got a muffin letter? I'd love to eat one right now.
Cajun Feminist.
Okay. I said 4.25, and I'm just like a sucker for super New York-y, all the tropes. Like I really do think like this past weekend was like pretty magical. I went to like a movie theater like that, and we went to a bar that I love, and it was just like, and I was like, man, that's why I love this show.
Yeah.
I love this fifth character. And also, John reminded me, I wrote a show called How to Be a New Yorker, and we had a sketch. The final sketch in it was about how New York is like an abusive boyfriend. And my friend Margaret played a girl and who talked about how much she loved New York. And then I played New York, and I was her abusive boyfriend. And I was like really nice and then really mean about, and that's what it's like in New York. And I was like, oh, cool. They did this joke before, but it's so true. Like
you had such a great Dr. Sizemore joke in that show.
Oh, dude, there's
Dr. Zizmore. Forgot about it.
You say Zizmore, I say Sizemore.
Oh, sorry. I say Zizmore.
That's fine.
There was a great, every single night doing the Zizmore joke was like just the 10 people in the audience that got it were like, hell yeah. 4.25. And I'm just glad to be back. And our next like 5 or 6 episodes we're recording in LA with amazing guests. And I'm so hyped for that.
Yeah, we are going to have some great guests in LA. We're very excited about that.
Everybody, I just want to say thank you. We're glad to be back.
Yeah.
And thank you for listening.
Yes.
If you haven't done iTunes, go on and give us a rating. We've got like 10 new ones. We love them. It means so much. And it's the only way that like tangibly we can think of besides telling a friend that helps us out to get more listeners. So please do that.
Yeah. Subscribe and follow us on Spotify so you get the new eps all the time. Tell your friends, leave us some stuff on Instagram. And we love having a little bit of you in our life.
The best cheating song of all time.
Lou Bagel.
Who the fuck is Sandra?
The Bradshaw Boys stars Cory Cavin, Jon Sieber, and Kevin James Doyle. The show is produced by Jeremy L. Balon. For more information on the guys, check out their website at bradshawboys.com, on social media at The Bradshaw Boys. And if you see them in the street, tip your glass. Thanks for listening.
All right, we're recording.
Hey.
Wait.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go for it.
Count us.